Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to the Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. See, often the challenge is we take our precious time, we go to work, we get a paycheck in order to eat. But imagine a world where money could make you money, then you could take that time and spend it with family, friends, engaging in a purpose greater than yourself. That is what the Everyday Investor TV show is all about, teaching us how to grow our money, teaching us how money can make us money. Remember, whenever you're offered any type of investment opportunity, always ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what's the return on investment? 2, when do I get that return along with the money I put in? 3, what is the minimum investment amount needed? And 4, look them right in their eyes and ask them, what is the risk, the downside? You're gonna really enjoy this show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Some of the most successful people on the planet, including Warren Buffett, go into their week with very few appointments booked.
Very few.
What are they doing?
Yes.
They're reading, studying, reflecting, walking in the woods, visualizing, meditating.
Hey everyone, it's John Tembury from Blackjack Contracting. This week's tip is about bylaws and city codes. It's super important to understand the difference between each city and municipality about their different rules. For example, the city of Hamilton has a really strict parking rule. It's really important to understand that. So when you're working and looking at buying properties, it's really important to work with somebody or understand the local bylaws so that you make sure that the project you want to do can be done and you don't have to go through very expensive variance processes and all that great jazz. So work with a really knowledgeable realtor, work with a great contractor in the area, a great BCIN in the area, so you understand that you're going to be buying the right deal, the right property can do the project, and you're going to be successful. That's everything for this week. Thank you and have a great week.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Hey guys, Omar Khan here with a weekly market update. Now, the stock market has had a really rough start to the year, and the reason mainly is because of inflation. Now, why is that a problem? Well, inflation is simply too much money chasing too little goods and services. You can see that in gas prices. You can see that at the grocery stores. Prices have gone up. So the central banks, the Bank of Canada, the Federal Reserve, have to increase interest rates so that they lower demand, and therefore, hopefully prices don't go up as much. And that is what's really affecting the stock market. It's now starting to affect the real estate market. What we're looking for is data that comes out that shows maybe inflation is getting under control, and therefore we don't need to increase interest rates as much. So that's what the stock market's looking for. And as far as the real estate market is concerned, hopefully not as many interest rate hikes as originally anticipated. Until next week, we'll see you guys. Omar Khan from Theta Trading. Take care.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to my friends Harry and Sarah. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. Of course, Sarah, you produce and co-host, guest host, all that kind of stuff, and you're just
Right on coattails.
Yeah, no, I was going to say continuing your modeling career. You're still doing your James Dean kind of stuff
I'm
there.
trying, yeah.
Yes.
And then diversify.
No, Harry, we were, you've done a lot, and we don't have enough time to talk about it in the 22 minutes we have, but I remember you were on the show last year, and we were talking about investing in the right mindset, and I know you are a big believer that you really can't do anything in life unless you have the core, as you would call the vital signs, all in check. And thanks for coming on the show. And we can even touch on that a little bit if you want, but we're really here to talk about investing in a resort or building a resort. The two of you have come together and you're partnering on a resort somewhere up in the Kawarthas. Talk a little bit about that.
It was a crazy idea that we were just, I think, joking around in the beginning. We actually found a nice piece of property, but before that, we found a different piece of property that didn't work out, and I think that's where the idea came from, and to find the right zoning. And
well, Sarah was obsessed with something called tiny homes, and she was wanting to find a piece of land, and she saw this piece of land. She kept going on and on about tiny homes, and then she was, like a dog with a bone, she found this commercial piece ready to rock and roll, and we made an offer, and it worked out, and so here we are actually under construction. So it was the real estate junkie part of us, looking for value, looking for something that was different outside of the white-hot laneway that we've been in for the last 10 years in real estate.
And so how did this friendship happen?
Yeah, well, I hired Harry as my mentor when I had him on my podcast, and he spoke at the Right Club a couple times, and I reached out to him. I'm like, I don't know if you do this, but can I spend a little bit of time with you, and I'll pay you if that's something that we can do. And so he was kind enough to let me do that and take me under his wing, and we bought a nice piece of land before the resort that we're building some townhomes on, and the resort was kind of one of those ideas that we wanted to do something different. I love cottages, I love short-term rentals, and this was that next opportunity, and we found this piece of land that actually was priced really well, and it had the right zoning. It was like a no-brainer at that point in time, so we went ahead and bought it.
I think what's kind of neat what's happened with Sarah and I, my daughter asked me to start an Instagram account just so my grandkids would know who I am and what my philosophy is. And I had 16 followers, and Sarah found me, so she's catapulted me into the social media world, asked me to speak at a few things. But I think what most importantly what's happened with our relationship, it was very organic. We believe the same things, same philosophy about enjoying life, not holding your breath and waiting until 60 or 70 to start living, putting things in perspective, recognizing the Monopoly game is a lot different than real life. And Sarah lived that. It impressed me. She left her job. She pursued something she had never done before called real estate. Within 7 years, they built a beautiful portfolio and was living the dream, including stuff that I've learned from her, which is, delegate groceries, delegate anything you don't want to do, spend 6 months doing nothing at the cottage, and just enjoy every moment of your life. But so that kind of inspired me, and as we got to know each other, we thought, we could do some stuff together. I've got some gray hairs and some experiences and a lot of failures under my belt, so maybe together we could create some magic with some projects.
Yeah, and of course, he's downplaying it. If you Google Harry James and developments, and this is, don't take it the wrong way. Why did you say yes to Sarah when she asked, would you help her out? Because it's not like you've not done tons of other developments. You're in the middle of a bunch right now. What was it? Like, is this part of the give back part of life? Or why did you say yes to somebody knocking on the door and say, will you mentor me?
I think one of the things I've always believed strongly, you can't manufacture chemistry. And I'm not saying this to stroke your ego, Rav, but when you and I met, I liked you immediately. There was a chemistry, there was an energy, which you don't, by the way, get through Zoom or anything else in life. When there's a chemistry and a synergy, that to me is the most important part of any type of relationship, business or personal. There's that common element, that common denominator where you really respect each other and feed off each other. And I think Sarah and I had that. We had a similar philosophy, similar outlook. Probably more important to me, though, and it's one of the things we're kind of talking about today, you do an amazing job with your show. As a matter of fact, I saw a comment on YouTube that it's crazy that more people don't watch your show, and I would completely agree with that. But here's the reality. For 100 years, more, people have been doing workshops, seminars, how to build a business, how to be an entrepreneur, how to invest in crypto, how to invest in mortgages, how to build a better life. I have a question for you. There's 35 million people in Canada, and only 735,000 have a net worth between 1 million and 5 million.
Is that right?
Why? It's not a lack of information.
Yeah.
It's a lack of execution. Why is there a lack of execution? Not the right mindset. You can't tell me that the other 32 million or 33 million Canadians don't have the same opportunities. They do.
Yeah.
What's holding them back? What's the glass ceiling? That's something Sarah and I really landed on together. We believe that health, wealth, and time for self is not about real estate and transactions per se. It's about being mentally ready to capitalize and recognizing that you're worthy of the success in the life that you're after.
Back to the resort, what's interesting to me is most people get into real estate for the passive income, right? They want it passively. Now, you guys are building, Inspire Beach Resort. Is that what we're calling it?
That's it, yeah.
Inspire Beach Resort. And you're not building it to sell it. You're building it to keep it is the plan now. So walk me through that, because I know you're a big believer of, hey, just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
This is actually a business that you're starting, no?
Yeah, so I love cottages, I love short-term rentals, I love cash flow, and this to me is a great opportunity to make cash flow. Exactly how much and how well it will do, time will tell. This is one of those passion projects I think we're all just very excited about. But we do want to create something, you know, and I don't know if you've been to many resorts, but there are not many resorts that are upscale and have the amenities that we want to create. You know, many of them are kind of, you know, old and they've been around for 20, 30, 40 years. They haven't been updated. The amenities aren't that great. So we want to create something completely different that people like you and I, Harry, can go to, relax. We're going to make it adults only. We're theming them inside.
That was her idea. I didn't say adults only. She just wiped out all my grandkids.
I mean, we're having fun with it, right? I mean, if I was doing this and I was still having a full-time job, there's no way that I would do it. But I think for me, it's the creativity, the passion, and I think it'll come with really good cash flow based on what we're
yeah, but if it wasn't for Sarah, I'm not doing this. I don't want to run a resort.
Yeah.
Sarah is brilliant at detail, Airbnb, creating the experience. We have people in her family that are going to be involved, which is critical. You need to have boots on the ground. You need to have people that believe in the story and are reflective of what the experience you're trying to create. I failed miserably at restaurant. I lost $1.5 million in 6 years in restaurants. I know how tough it is to run a business, especially a business that I didn't grow up in. I didn't grow up in hospitality. I didn't grow up in cabins. I love real estate, and I love the element of real estate, and certainly the real estate component of what we're doing here is really exciting to me. But had Sarah not said, I'll run it, I'll do all the detail, I'll take care of the day-to-day, I would be very much doing something other than inspiring.
Or you may build it up into something residential and then sell it, like what you normally do, right?
C3 is the zoning for that area. So it's actually, it used to be a resort. It was raw land when we bought it. But, you know, I think as a resort, it would still do well. Like as soon as we have those cottages built up, I mean, again, we don't know what the value is going to be per se today, but it's going to be a lot more than what
well, also, let's be candid, the Inspire name is not an accident. I mean, the whole, something that I'm passionate about at this stage in my life is getting people to recognize that life is now. You have to create experiences now. And one of the most, I would say, important things that happen when somebody leaves their natural environment, their house or their business, is when they get their greatest ideas. It's when they recognize what matters most. It's when they connect with other human beings. Yeah. So the Inspire Beach Resort kind of wraps around the philosophy that both Sarah and I subscribe to in terms of trying to get people to help them enjoy the journey more and recognize that life is now. Yeah. And really the future is a mirage. It hasn't happened yet. So you have to really engage fully in everything now.
Yeah. And I like that you said that, you know, it's hard to get the creativity, the magic, the something bigger than yourself to speak to you, you know. I call it God, but unless you are kind of doing nothing, unless you've, you know, even closed the door on a few things, it's in those still moments that's when, you know, you're being spoken to, as opposed to in the day-to-day.
Some of the most successful people on the planet, including Warren Buffett, go into their week with very few appointments booked.
Very few.
What are they doing?
Yes.
They're reading, studying, reflecting, walking in the woods, visualizing, meditating. It's almost counterintuitive. You have to slow down and speed up. Yeah. It's like salmon swimming upstream. There's certain fundamental laws, and I'll go back to what I said a moment about the 735,000 people with 1 to 5 million. There's certain fundamental laws that all of us have access to, like gravity, but very few test. Yeah. Very few try. If just more people would lean into the simplicity of some of the things that we're talking about here, I think a lot more people would be enjoying the journey more.
And believing in it. Like, you know, we know about adequate sleep and going for a walk first thing in the morning and being in nature. We know these things, but I think there's sometimes a been there, done that mentality. Like, surely that can't work, you know? I'm talking about a big deal here, Rav. No, actually it can. I mean, 6-7 years ago, I had a neural breakdown because my OCD mind was about everything. But when I started walking the lake and got my dog and make the fires and chop wood, and it's amazing. I'm not saying there's not a place for medicine. There may be a place if there's something going on clinically. But at least first, if you have anxiety, depression, so on and so forth, at least first do the things that you preach on, you know, the simple fundamentals. Guys, great to have you. I can't believe we're I don't know what we're talking about. It's already half. The show's already, the producer just waved the hand. We're already half done. We'll take a quick break here, but when we come back, I do want to touch on some of these vital signs, and I think we should talk a little more about the resort as well. You're watching Everyday Investor. I'm talking to Harry and Sarah. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Kyle from the Kyle Ford Mortgage Team. This week I want to talk about financing properties investment properties specifically, with less than 20% down. As many people know, it's quite common to buy a primary residence with 5, 10, or 15% down. But when it comes to buying investment properties, the industry standard is 20%. At the Kyle Ford Mortgage Team, we specialize in helping investors purchase properties that are more difficult to qualify for. Often, we are able to get financing at up to 90% loan to value, which is a 10% down payment, by using private money. Now, this doesn't work for everybody, but if you're buying properties that need work, have significant upside, or have a clear exit strategy, we can help you acquire with less money down. If you have questions on how this works, don't hesitate to reach out to myself and the Kyle Ford Mortgage Team.
You've always dreamed of having rental income, but buying a rental property? Well, that's a tall order. Capitalize on the space in your home instead. Renovate and rent out that space with ease with LegalSecondSuites.com and the team at Wise Construction Group. With LegalSecondSuites.com, our talented team of BCIN designers, engineers, carpenters, and tradespeople can transform that unused space into a beautiful, legal, and safe rental unit. We're empowering the everyday homeowner to become an extraordinary landlord. Get more out of your home. Visit LegalSecondSuites.com for more information.
Costas Cavellos, founder of First Access Condos. Now, in our world, there are numerous investment opportunities and schemes that people pitch to you daily. Which one do you choose? Which one is right for you? Now, when it comes to investing, you want to invest in something that there's a great demand for, but not enough supply. And everyone knows, in Southern Ontario, the one thing that's in short supply is housing. First Access Condos lets you buy today and reap the benefits in the future. Pay today's prices to invest, sell at tomorrow's prices. That's the beauty of pre-construction condos, and we are First Access Condos.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to my friends Harry and Sarah. We're talking about the right mindset, investing in a resort. It's not really investing in a resort. I mean, we are, but we're building the resort from scratch, right? It's not like you bought something that was already, happening. So this is in a small little city in the Kawarthas. And talk to me about what was there already? Is it just vacant land, or when you went to go look at this, what was there?
So it was about 5.5 acres of pretty much vacant land. It used to be a resort back in the day, so the zoning was already there, which was at least easier to just get the building permits and start building. Otherwise, going through a zoning change would have been many, many years and quite a bit of money probably as well, with the possibility of us not being able to do it. So the fact that that was already zoned was huge. It used to be a resort. They tore it down. There was a decrepit, horrible looking house that we just actually tore down to the ground last week.
Almost killed us both.
Worst house probably that I've ever walked through anyways. But it was raw land, and there's about 4 acres of woodland, and then there's an acre next to the resort that we bought that's residential. We're going to be building a 20-person nice luxury cottage to go along with it as well. So we are starting with 5 cottages. So we just went through the planning of where they're going to be placed and all of that good stuff. And where we've got basically not even 3 months to get them up and running and furnished and everything. So
what we did is we actually booked a conference for 40 people August 9th. So failing's not an option. It has to be ready.
So in August you have a conference
that's it. And
at the resort.
We are just starting. We just tore the house down and just finished the parking.
Yeah.
So can people still, is it closed, or can people still come to this conference?
So there's still some spots open. Yeah. They can send us an email. We'll leave the information on the screen there as well if they want to come. But there's lots of good stuff happening at the retreat. Oh,
absolutely. Well, again, we're trying to create an experience, Raf. It's to go back to my comment I said about all of the workshops and stuff that's out there. We figure we want to have a top-down approach instead of a bottom-up. So yeah, we're going to talk about deals, real estate. We're actually going to pick apart our journey with respect to the cabins we've built and the costs, and kind of give everybody as much detail as possible. But what we want to make sure that we pepper into the conference is, look, it doesn't matter how good these ideas are or what Sarah and I have done. Are you ready? Do you have the mindset to tackle something for yourself? Do you have a vision of what you want for your life? Have you got all 100 pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in place and know what direction you're going? So we want to create some elements with health, yoga, meditation, Vitality, some great, we've got axe throwing, we've got boat rides.
We've got a live comedian, a
live
pontoon boat.
Great musicians, as well as some great speakers that are good at their particular area of expertise, whether it be health, vitality, nutrition. So we're trying to bring a kind of smorgasbord of things together so people leave different than they came, but they leave with a mindset to act.
1 day event, 2 day event, if people stay there, how does it work?
It's 3 days, so we booked a local nearby hotel, so we're gonna have everybody bust over to the resort, and that's where, we're gonna have from 8 a.m. to basically, some nights it'll go to 10 or 11 p.m. It'll be a complete full day. On the 10th, half day and a half on the 11th, and then about a half day on the 9th as well.
And for something like this, what's what's capital needed? How do we, is the bank giving us any money,
No,
Harry, or how?
Yeah, and borrowing money from the banks to fund a vision is something that they did in 1969.
Yeah.
So they don't want to take any risks. They want to come across and pop the champagne and cut the ribbon when you're done, and they're not really that worried about how you got there. So we use private funds. Sarah and I negotiated a vendor take-back of, so I don't mind telling you the numbers. We paid 1.15, about $850 vendor take-back. We'll probably spend first phase about $1.5 million, second phase probably another $2 million. The first phase is 5 cabins. Second phase will be a main lodge with 4 units up top. But the main lodge is going to have a place to have dinners, a catering kitchen if you had a tiny wedding, a gift shop,
a gym, just all the additional
all little things, yeah. Every cabin is a hot tub, and they're not on top of each other. So if you're there with your significant other having a glass of wine, somebody's not listening to your conversation, and then we're going to have a sauna. And so it's going to be just a place where you can go, chill, reflect, and hopefully get recharged and go back to your life inspired, basically.
That's great.
And this is over a few years, right? And so there's going to be phase 1, like Harry was mentioning, phase 2, and then likely we're looking at about 4 to 5 years until the full completion. But we're still going to be renting it. We're still going to be hosting and providing it to weddings and all the different opportunities.
But the outlay of capital was really, you needed your 20, 30, 35% down. The rest you're borrowing from other investors that want to enjoy their 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% return? No?
Not even that much. Harry's been doing this for a while, so.
So he's got investors that will be happy with 4 or 5%.
Exactly. Yeah. Thankfully, again, this is a reputation and track record. We've been at it a long time. So we've had people that have been following us for years on the equity and lending side that said, look, instead of sitting at 1-2% in the bank, I'm happy for you to pay me 5% quarterly.
That's great.
And we personally guarantee. And of course, their first mortgage is not done in the back of a napkin, so everybody's happy. And it's a friends and family type situation.
Okay, let's go back to Dr. James for a second and talk about the importance of mental health and kind of getting it right and the vital signs.
Well, this will sound like a commercial, Rav, and it candidly isn't. But one of the businesses that I'm involved in is my son runs an employee benefit firm that I have the privilege of being a partner in. He's been at it a long time. They have a great team. To give value added to the thousands of employees that we have the privilege of serving, we create products and services to help them with where they're at. Presenteeism, huge problem. Companies are losing hundreds of millions of dollars. What does that mean? You're physically at your desk, but you're not mentally there.
Yeah.
How do you operate when you come in and you have a child going down the wrong road, or you're about to get divorced, or you have a health issue? How do you operate in the chaos? How do you have peace in the chaos? And that's really what it boils down to. Unfortunately, many, many people are on mental health drugs. Why? Presenteeism, why? I think it's because we're not addressing it from top down. We're not taking care of the person in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And then you have to go out and fight the battle without any tools, without any resources, without any fuel. How do you do that? So that's what that component is all about, is bringing things to bear to liberate people and give them the strength to go on.
Yeah.
And to not only go on, but to perform at a high level.
No. It's great, and I think it takes a year to be able to teach a year's worth of experience. And as young as you act, and you've been around for a bit, and you've seen a lot. And I really appreciate your vulnerability as well to share. I think maybe for the sake of terminology, you call them failures, but me and you both know, things that have happened that allow us to learn, right, and to be able to grow. So no, it's really, really good. So we have this retreat that's happening at the end of August, and people can go there, and it's a 3-day. But there's also workshops that you do from time to time, right? You have a beautiful venue out in Markham area. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it goes back to what I was saying about the employee benefits side of the business. So there's all sorts of companies are spending millions of dollars on counseling services, health, massages, wellness. One of the components that we birthed many, many years ago, because when I spoke at a conference, I used to hop on a plane and speak at a conference, and it was fun to do, but not highly effective, because the best motivational speaker lasts about as long as a warm bath. So I speak for 30, 60 minutes, but I leave, and then what?
Yeah.
I can talk about concepts, and maybe I can inspire and excite. By the way, there's times where I fall flat on my face. They probably wondered why they had me as a speaker. But the times that I was good,
yes,
it doesn't last long. So I thought, what could I build to have something that's sustainable, where somebody could actually go away and implement something immediately?
Practical application.
And I started what's called the Live Real workshops.
The
Live Real workshops, which
nice.
we've now, with Sarah, rebranded Health, Wealth, and Time for Self workshops. Again, top-down mindset. Prepare people to live life. Like, everybody's got a mask on.
Yeah.
Everybody's faking it to a certain degree. Everybody's got issues. As I said, somebody's got a parent that's not doing well, financial issues. Everybody's wearing a mask. In the workshops, about removing the mask, being authentic, living your definition of success, and getting some tools in your kit bag so you can really maximize your journey.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And you guys were doing this one. You said there's a second project you have as well that you're doing together?
Yeah, some houses
that
are they've sold out. I mean,
in 6 minutes.
In 6 minutes. But we found
Pardon
this
me?
really cool
6
land.
minutes?
Yeah, it's because of her. See, if I put it on my social media, it'd still be for sale. She put it on her social media, they were sold out in, a couple minutes.
It was a great deal. So we found a great piece of land off market, and we were able to build 6 2-unit townhomes that cash flow. And how many new builds do you know out there that actually provide some cash flow? They're rare, right? I mean, they're still around, but we wanted to do something for investors specifically, and they made sense. I bought one, and then
6
5
2
others.
units?
6 2 units.
Like this?
So they're essentially townhomes with a main smaller unit and then another. There's essentially like
so there's 12
duplex
towns.
towns.
12 people.
Yeah, built like
12 families.
Basically, townhomes that are built as a duplex.
Yeah,
basically.
as a duplex by design. Up downs or side? Up down.
Up down.
And that's where? Same?
This is in
Kawarthas area?
Lakefield. So this is where my cottage is, the other cottage I have. I love the Kawarthas. And it really is, in my opinion, the upscale version of like maybe a Peterborough. Like it's cute, it's small, it's near the water.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely zero vacancy.
And I've got to give all the credit to Sarah, because she did approach me and ask me to coach her, which was pretty cool to get involved in that. But one day we're sitting there and we're talking about how to make things happen instead of wondering what happened and letting circumstances dictate the direction. So I said, Sarah, you're doing all the same things that we talked about last time. Like, what matters is not what I say in this meeting. What matters is what happens from the time you leave to the time you come back. Get on the phone. Get out. You don't build a business from behind a computer. You can't manage a portfolio from behind. You have to go out, speak to human beings, watch for signs, drive around neighborhoods, knock on doors. So I think I made her angry at me. I thought she was actually going to dump me. And she got on the phone, she found this beautiful piece that we probably bought for $200,000-300,000 under market value, because the circumstances were perfect to do a great deal.
Yeah.
We negotiated together on the phone with a realtor. And then we built this concept. She put it on social media, and boom, we sold out $4.5 million of product literally in six minutes.
And I do want to add something, okay? So I used to work hundreds of hours, 100 hours a week, when I used to wake up at 4 a.m. and then I had left my 9 to 5 in October. So this wasn't that many months later. I was taking a nice little vacation and a nice little break from the life that I had before to create my new lifestyle. So, again, he did put some fire under my butt to make things happen, but I was enjoying my lifestyle.
She's making excuses. She wasn't listening to her
I was enjoying
coach.
my lifestyle, and then I figure, okay, I got to do something. And this is, I've done a lot of the Burr strategy, as you know, a lot of the short-term, mid-term stuff. This was the first development project as well.
No, I mean, we all know the enemy of success is success, right? When you're doing well, that's when we really need accountability and people in our life to help us. Guys, time's up. Unfortunately, I'm so grateful to have you on the show. You'll have to come back again, Harry. Sarah's always here, but you'll have to.
Love
to come back. Yes, thank you.
It's always an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you,
Sarah. Yes, and thank you guys at home for watching. Without you, we would not have a show. To watch our shows on demand, go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you next week, same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Bye, everyone.